I'd say it's pretty windy. Alright, what's going on, you guys? This is what the deal is today. I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to start doing more videos because things have just been freaking crazy. Just trying to figure out about work and all that stuff. And anyway, so I've been cleaning out things. We got this cleaned out so we can do orders and whatnot. But anyway, so here's what we're going to do today. We have these cam gears. Going to go on the cams. They're going in the head for the 4G64 build. And then we're gonna have to run into some things too, about basically what I'm doing is a well-known swap. It's a 2.0 turbo head on a 2.4 liter single overhead cam 4G64 block. Whew, that was a lot to get out. But anyway, so that's what we're doing today. And in order to do that, there's several different ways to do it. The way I'm doing it is I'm using the stock cam gears, stock head. I'm using the 4G64 timing belt with the 4G63 was basically just the regular tensioner and pulley. I'm trying to think about what else. Let's see, one that 4G64 dual overhead cam head gasket, and other gaskets I bought. But we got the 4G63 head machine a while back because it was supposed to go on the block I got from the junkyard, which is actually sitting over here nice and painted, and I'm gonna be having that board out to 4G64 spec so I can put some YSCO pistons in there. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing today, is basically just getting this head put together. I was trying to work, kind of got in the way yesterday trying to put the clutch on, but I got the flywheel taken care of. It had some service rust, so I just cleaned it up. You know how we do here. So we just got the flywheel. I have the flywheel like on there, but it's not torqued or anything like that. And I have to go get anti-seize and expansion plugs. No, but there's 5 holes you have to plug in the block. I don't know, I didn't get 5. As far as oil return goes, because they're not covered by the 4G63 head. So anybody that's done the swap probably knows about that. There's a lot of ways to go about it. You know, you can just take it to a machine shop if you have everything torn apart, and get them to do it. I'm gonna get like a drill or a Dremel or whatever, and just, you have to widen the holes out a little bit so you can pop the expansion plug in there just so it's tight enough. And then that's literally all I have to do is install the clutch, release bearing, finish installing the flywheel, get the head prepped and ready, and then take the old head off, put the other head on there. I've got the intake manifold with the throttle body and everything already on there. So here we go, let's go grab this head real quick and then we'll do some more videoing. Alright, you guys, so I had to lube up the mini rockers, whatever you want to call them. I know I'm going to get flamed for some of the things I do, and I really don't care. They're the way I do them, and the way I do them, I've never really had a problem. I've always had long-lasting running things when I put my all into it. But anyway, so we just had to re-lube our little rockers. Now the head doesn't look the best just because there was a spun rod bearing and there was metal through it, but I don't think a lot of it made it to the top. The only bad part I see is like right in here is some scoring and whatnot. And normally, if we were doing everything like 1,000,000%, we'd want to take that and have them everything, you know, take the caps and everything and have them all mashed and resurfaced and whatnot. Well, we're not doing that. Now if I was doing it for somebody else, you know, if I pulled this off for somebody else and I saw it, then I would talk to them about it obviously first. But we're not doing that. This is for me, something to throw quick together, because I'm getting another head and I'm building another motor. Like the engine I saw over there, I'm going to be building that anyway, so it's just not, just whatever. But anyway, so we got our cams back here, got our cam caps. Now for me, it's one of those do as I say, not as I do kind of moments. Anyway, so I had everything. I don't know where the thing's at. I had a bucket that had everything like valve train wise, had all sitting in a bucket, and I had it all organized, right? And I went to the beach, you know what I'm saying? I did it before I went to the beach because I was planning on taking it and going to Steven's house and doing some stuff and whatnot, and just something for us to do together. Well, somehow amidst all the craziness of driving back and forth to like Hickory and all that back and forth, that tub actually got overturned. So obviously the way you want to do this when you pull valve train out is you want to keep it all organized. Each has its own wear pattern. Every one of these, you know what I'm saying, you try and keep all together. Like, I'm OCD about it. So when I went back there and I saw the bucket was turned over, I about had a heart attack. And I had to push through it and be like, you know what, well, whatever. But in the event that this happens, your caps tell you just in case. So this one right here, I don't know how well you can see it. Well, damn, I'm not even pointing it. What am I doing? Yeah. I don't know if you can see the E2 right there. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. It has an arrow and it has E2. And all of them are organized from A to B. So like this one right here, this one has I3. That might be an intake one right there. Hold on, let me see. That's what I'm talking about. Because everything is organized and numbered, just in case that the event comes that you do lose everything. Let me look at see this one, because this has probably got an E on it. Okay, no. All right. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're literally, yeah, they're actually literally the same on both sides. Okay, so that's whatever. So these are just basically the same. I mean, obviously, in the event that you did this, you would want to know which ones actually goes to which, but they're actually the same, like, design and whatnot. So, see, that's another thing. Don't do that. Don't be like me. Keep your stuff together. Keep it marked, labeled, and keep it straight. Don't go philandering and whatnot. But anyway, back to my point. So now we have an E2. So now, this one right here, E3. So we got an E3 right here. I actually organized all of them over here. You know what I'm saying? So you'll put, you know, it's all labeled out. I just haven't put my cams in yet, but anyway, you get the point. It's labeled, you know, these two are in an E2, E3, E4, E5. I believe that one has an E6 maybe, I don't know, but these two are different. So you know that's intake, because 3, 4, yeah, it's got an arrow on it. So there's no real definitive thing saying this is an intake, but obviously, you know, if you take it apart, it's the damn intake. It's the intake side, exhaust side, intake side. So anyway, so you know that, so that's straight, whatever. You know what I'm saying, though. Make sure you have your stuff organized. That's all I'm saying. All right, so I'm just doing this for demonstrating purposes, but that's what the head is going to look like after everything's on there. Everything's oiled and lubed. Usually like to use like a assembly glue, but oil's the same damn way. As long as you have oil for when you start it up and it's not dry, whatever. But yeah, I don't have everything down right now or everything torqued. This is just so I can keep like all my little rockers and whatnot from falling down on the head like they did before when I was being stupid. But we'll go through the torque procedure. It's just like a head, you know, there's a specific torque sequence. And we'll be going over the torque sequence for the head as well, because there's a specific way you have to do it. You have to go to like 53 or 58 foot-pounds, I think, loosen them all back up, and then you tighten them to a certain amount, and then it's 90 and 90. And that's something I don't think I did on the 4G6 Ford, so I think it's the same way, because I never find, I've had problems with the head and it's not really leaking. There's some scoring on the back of it. I think that I don't know, it's weird. I don't know, it's just strange. The car just never, like, it ran, but it just never like ran solid. And I think that that may have been one of my mistakes that I did, because I think it's the same way. But with me, all I did was I tightened the head bolts and I 90'd them. So who's to say they aren't correct? I don't know. Car ran. It had a cooling issue, so that might have something to do with it. I don't know. But this one, we're doing it right. Everything's serviced, and obviously, I haven't installed them all the way. You don't want your head laying flat when especially if you're like torquing out cams or anything, just because of valve damage. You don't want any valve damage. But these cams are they're just snug enough to where it keeps all, well, actually, I guess it's not going to keep all the rockers in place. Now I got to be careful. But yeah, just so I just did this so everything is together. But come time for it to go onto the car, then we'll do stuff like the cam seals and then the torquing of everything and whatnot. But as of now, everything's straight. I got my intake put together here. I still have to clean it and all that stuff, get all that grime and everything off of it. But that's about it. So that's what progress we're making. We're gonna try and get I've got the flywheel mounted, but I need to like torque it down and put Loctite, some blue Loctite on the threads to make sure everything's straight. But so far, what we have left to do is just basically install the clutch, release bearing, flywheel, and then I'm doing everything on the ground. That way I can do all the timing stuff a lot easier. They say, I think it was advanced, if you're using stock cam gears, to advance them half a tooth or retard them half a tooth. I can't remember, but I'm going to do some research on that and make sure we got everything in time, because I'm sure it makes a difference. But yeah, so that's all. So just literally, as far as like the heavy duty work, getting the engine and trans put together, getting the head on, getting it in the car, and then we have a couple of ECU connectors we have to re-solder together, put back together basically, and I have to put the resistor box back on it, rewire the resistor box, the knock sensor, and I think that's literally it. Other than that, fixing the starter wire and then getting all the connectors straight. But the only thing I arrived from the car was some of the ECU connector, and all that good stuff. I don't know why I didn't think to just pull that off and then splice it in there and then run an extra wire for the knock sensor. But we live and learn. This has been a whole learning process, buying these two cars, and granted the cars haven't been on the road that much. The most the Silver Eclipse has gotten is to the backyard. I drove it in the backyard, you know what I'm saying? It was knocking, but I drove it in the backyard. The Black Eclipse, I put a fair decent amount of miles. I haven't gone very far in it because it was never 100%, and then it started having a power issue, which I'm just going to relate back to wiring somewhere. I didn't really, honestly, I don't like rag tops, so I just didn't feel like doing anything more to it. It was more or less like an experiment on like the people that have done the turbo 4G64 using the stock single overhead cam with turbo parts. And look, I got both these cars to do. But anyway, so if you want to write up on how to do that, let me know, because it's actually fairly simple how to do it, especially if you have a donor car. It definitely helps to buy one that's blown up, that you can at least use parts off of, like the turbo, exhaust manifold, throttle body, all that stuff. But anyway, we're going to this intake clean up, and that's it for today. And then we're going to come back and then work on the trans, get the trans made of the engine, get the engine in the car, get the head on, and then bam, because we got all the parts for it. Oh, and then we got to get an expansion plug so we can drill out the holes. I forgot about that. But anyway, thank you guys, and we'll see you later. By the way, if you're on this channel and you know me, and you come by the house, don't blow the horn. It doesn't irritate me, but it startles me. I'm easily startleable. But if you come by the house, you want to chat, bring me one of these, man, because that's my game fuel.